Welcome to Edwards Virginia Smokehouse Cured Meat Q&A. Do uncooked country hams need to be soaked in water?
It depends on the age of the ham, in my opinion. If the ham is younger than, say, 90 days, I wouldn't. Even younger than 6 months, I wouldn't. We typically, the hams, the way we cook them, we do not soak them before we cook them. We do cook them in water, so it's the hams are brought to a temperature of 170 degrees, meaning the water temperature is 170 degrees, and we cut the heat off and let them sit overnight, and then we don't change the water, but we bring the temperature back up to 190 and finish them off at about 155 degrees, and they'll go up to 158 while we're deboning them. But most people like that flavor profile for a 4 to 6 month old ham. Now, once you get up in the range of 9, 10, 12 month old, then pre-soaking, if you're really sensitive to salt, might be something you'd want to do. And in that case, you would put it in what we call a ham boiler, or a vessel large enough to fill it up with lukewarm water, making sure the ham is completely covered, and let it soak overnight. Take the ham out, pour the water off, fill it up with fresh water, and then start cooking the ham again. If your stove or your pot's big enough, a lot of people don't have a pot big enough to cook a ham on the stove, so they soak it in their sink. So then you would take, if you don't have one big enough, a pot big enough to put the ham on a stove, then you would put it in a oven and bake it. If you're going to bake it, if you're sensitive to salt, I would definitely soak it over the night before for about 24 hours. Is that clear?
As soaking from my end, Sammy, I think it really depends on whose ham you have. I don't soak any of our hams, even the longer age wigwam ham. But, and we've touched on this in other episodes where, some ham guys out there are leaving their hams on salt 40 plus days, sometimes as high as 50 days. And, in that case, yeah, you really need to soak the ham. But since we only go 30 days on salt, then take the cure off, balance it out in the spring room, I think, we're more about developing the flavor. So salt isn't that first primary pop that hits you with so many, that 9-volt battery salt that I've talked about. Those hams that are longer on salt, yeah, definitely soak. But with ours, even the wigwam, it's not, the salt on that is more of almost a hard Parmesan cheese rind kind of profile. So it's not that real bitey table salt hit. And as far as, when it comes to cooking, we actually teamed up with America's Test Kitchen, probably 7 years ago now, and worked with them on developing a new recipe on how to cook a country ham, because, as Sam mentioned, most people don't have the old ham pots, the big oblong things large enough to cook a ham stovetop. So we actually work with them to develop that recipe where you put about a quart of water in the bottom of your roasting pan, put your ham skin side up, cover it tight with foil, and then go low and slow in the oven. So that's steaming. It's almost kind of a steaming, slow bake process that also helps mellow some of that salt out. So for me, it really depends on who you're getting your ham from, how long it's been on salt. In our case, I really don't think it's a necessary step.
Got a cured meat question? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.